sports fans, welcome to Vitality Sports Media, and I have a special guest here with me today. I have Justin, defensive end from Alabama University. Justin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Justin Eboigbe from Forest Park, Georgia. I'm about to become an upcoming senior at the University of Alabama. I play defensive line.
So, Justin, how did you first start playing sports? Like, how did you get into sports?
I got into sports. I have an older brother who, you know how it is when you're a younger sibling, you tend to want to do the things that your older sibling does, or, you see older individuals do. So at about 5 years old, I was born in '01, so this is 2006. And, I'm from Atlanta, so, the Michael Vick was very popping. And also on top of that, seeing my brother play sports, I was kind of in over my head and wanted to play football. And crazy thing about it, my first day I did not enjoy it, but it's something I end up enjoying later on. So
I see. So I guess like you kind of chose to play football at a young age.
Yeah, I ended up choosing at a young age. I know a lot of people stories are different. A lot of people wait until middle school or high school. Well, I started the first year that, you're able to play contact football, which is 5 years old.
Exactly.
I've been playing ever since.
That's great. So take us into like your middle school years playing football. What did that look like for you?
Well, my middle school years, how it was you wasn't allowed to play football until you was in 7th grade. So I was playing rec ball all the way up until 6th grade. And I first joined my middle school football team in the 7th grade, and the area that I'm in, the school that I went to, we weren't very good at football, so winning wasn't a thing that I was looking forward to, because it wasn't gonna happen. But it was a good experience, being able to go straight from the classroom, go to the locker room, and hit the field. As rec ball, you go home, you already dressed, and your mom drives you to practice wherever you are, and so it was just a good experience. It was a good experience, playing my friends from school. Learning a different part of myself, because I've never been in that type of environment before.
Exactly.
But it has ups and it has downs.
So take us into your high school career. You mentioned that like you don't come from like a big area. I assume like you don't come from a big high school either. What was freshman year like for you in high school?
My freshman year, I ended up starting school in California.
Okay.
So me and my mom, we lived in Sacramento for the first semester of my freshman year. So that was during football season. So I ended up playing football in my freshman year in California. It was totally different because it was a rule that, it was three teams. It was freshman, JV, and varsity. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bro, I'm playing varsity. Like I'm that dude. So and they was telling me that it's a certain age. You got to be an age or a classification. You got to be a sophomore. You got to be 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And on my birthday is in April. So I was 14. I was not turning 15 anytime soon.
Okay.
So they told me, JV is, strictly sophomores and, some juniors, but it's, it's a freshman team. Do you want to play freshman? I was like, nah, it's too easy. It's not, very, it's not a challenge. So they had me playing JV, and it was something that was, it was a culture shock. I would say it's a culture shock coming from where I'm from. But I would say it was a good experience. It was also a situation where I didn't win a lot, but it was definitely a good experience to be in a new area, to be around new people, and to see a different side that I never seen on the football field.
Exactly. So going from you and your mom, you said you moved to California. When did you come back to Georgia?
I ended up coming back when the new year turned. So in January, that's when I ended up going to the school I ended up graduating, from.
Which was?
Forest Park High School.
Forest Park.
So it was an experience where, something came up and my mom decided that it was best for us to go back home to, bear that situation. And that's what we did. And that's where we've been ever since.
So coming to Forest Park High School, I know a little bit about Forest Park. It's not the biggest high school, in Georgia. It's not very well known. It's not known for, winning much. So being at Forest Park, having the impact that you had after, you left from California your freshman year and came to Forest Park. So sophomore year and up, what was that like for you?
Honestly, it was like, so in the area, a lot of people discourage you from going to Forest Park. So a lot of people tell you, you want to do something or make it out, don't go there, go somewhere else, transfer somewhere else. And this is something that I've been hearing for years. So it wasn't just something that happened when I was in high school. It was in middle school, when you're in eighth grade and, a lot of people trying to, get, the middle schoolers to go to high school. So you have, players on their squad. I was hearing a lot of discouraging words, and I was like, and originally when we came back in January, which was the second semester of my freshman year, my mom didn't want me to go to Forest Park. She was trying to actually get me, to go somewhere else. She was trying to get me to go to Jonesboro, Riverdale, or Drew. But, due to us living in Forest Park, and that was this late in the year, they told us that it's something that you got to do at the beginning of the year for basically out of district students who doesn't live in the zone. So I told her that, it's sure, essentially I had to finish my, freshman year at Forest Park. And she was like, if you want to, we can try again, in the summertime. Try to go. But I was like, let me see what I can do. See how my first year would be and see how it goes, because I was in my mind, I was like, I didn't want to be somebody who, made it to somewhere, and then I'm from Forest Park, but I ended up graduating somewhere else. I didn't want to be one of the people.
Exactly.
So I wanted to, stay there and see how my story played out.
And I think that's so important because we live in this whole era, and not just in college, but also in high school, like transferring. Transferring is such a big thing. Like there's no loyalty system anymore, so for you to be young and make that decision, I feel like, that's a big deal, and that says a lot about your character. So staying at Forest Park, you were able to develop into the player that you came to be. Please tell me, how did you become, this 4-star defensive end ranked 31st on the ESPN, top 300 list? And number 5 player in Georgia in your class in 2019?
Honestly, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot it was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of ups and downs between multiple head coaches during my time there. And I would say that it was a lot of, I became wise and learned wisdom from the mistakes of others and seeing others who was there. People who had the talent but didn't make the smartest decisions, or let their circumstances take control of their future. And me seeing that and me realizing that it was it's bigger than Forest Park. It's hello.
Yes, I'm here.
It's something bigger than Forest Park, in that the only way to get to that is to work. I may not have the same resources that somebody at Grayson or even across town at Jonesboro or Lovejoy may have, but the only thing that I know is that when we line up on Friday night, I will show you that I'm the best player that you can played against. So it was just my mindset that I wanted to, become somebody who people looked up to, and somebody that can be like, after every time they watch me, they'll remember my name and my number.
Stuff like you said, that's very important, to create your own lane and to know that no matter who you up against, no matter what program you come from, like you have to believe, like as an athlete, that you are the best player, that you're the best to do it. So next, Justin, if you could tell me about like when you started getting recruited, as you grew into this highly ranked player, what was your recruiting process like? Can you take me through that?
Well, my first offer was after my first year playing at Forest Park, my 10th grade year. I ended up getting an offer from Mississippi State, and it was a lot. After my junior year, that's when everything blew up. Somebody I didn't know, like honestly, I didn't expect a lot. Like I knew that I was going to play on the next level, but I didn't know how big it would be. And where I would be today.
Yes.
But after my junior year, I had a very good junior year, even though it didn't translate to the best of team success. But individually, I was able to make a name for myself, and that's when the floodgates basically essentially happened. You know, I was able to get offered by Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, you know, all these big name schools. And I was able to, you know, essentially have a lot of coaches who wouldn't, you know, come through the door at Forest Park, come through the door and shine light on the program as, you know, hopefully not only for myself, but for the people on my team who may, you know, may get the opportunity to be seen, you know, because, you know, it may not have been able to be seen by the coaches who was looking at me, but it could be like, oh, you know, Georgia came by the school or Alabama came by the school. You know, it may be a lower level school, maybe, which is still D1, maybe Kansas State or Georgia State may come by, or Troy may come by and look at a guy because they're like, oh, you know, maybe if they got this guy, maybe they got other people to look at. So just trying to shine the light on others on my team. And that was the biggest thing, you know, not just, you know, having myself come along, but bringing others along with me.
Exactly. I know from Georgia, especially, you know, I'm not too far from the Forest Park area, but exposure is a, you know, big problem in the areas like, you know, where we are. So I definitely do see that idea of you, you know, saying like, well, you know, if one big fish comes swimming, others will, you know, and even if it's small, like you said, what's not an opportunity for you can be an opportunity for another player because you don't know their circumstances. So when it came to you making your decision about what college you were going to attend, like how was that? Because you had so many different conferences and, you know, like all these SEC schools offering you. So how did you choose the school you wanted to play in?
Well, it came down to, I knew I wanted to stay in the South. I wanted to be close enough to home to where I can go home, but be far enough to where it wouldn't be, you know, something like this easy to go down the road. So I knew I wanted to stay in the South, whether that be, you know, the SEC or ACC with some schools, you know, residing around our area. So the decision came down to me looking at not just the glitz and glamours, but me wanting to put myself in a situation where I knew that it was either sink or swim. You know, I'm going to succeed or I'm going to fail. I didn't want to come into a situation where there's a lot of guarantees and there's a lot of easy way. You know, it's not that many people in my position, or, you know, I can come in right away and do this and that. I wanted to see how truly good I am. I wanted to go to the best school, and the best school was Alabama because I wanted to not only prove something to the people who, you know, who then got me to the point that I am, but I wanted to prove something to myself. And that's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to push myself each and every day, even the times where I didn't want to push. I wanted to put myself in a position where there's no way out. That's something that I want to do. I want to play for the best. I mean, since rec ball, I haven't won a lot, you know, the middle school or high school level. So I wanted to go into a winning culture. I wanted to truly see if I'm a winner. Not just by winning games, but by how my work ethic and how adversity hits me. How do I respond? So I just wanted to see how I could put myself in a position to where, you know, I may not like it. I may not like it some days, but it's a blessing that I can, you know, be put in this position, and I want to work to see how good I can get.
I think like that's like a testament to like your character, because you said you wanted to go to the best, you wanted to win, and you went to, you know, one of the most, if not the most winningest program in history, you know, of college football. So you went from a high school that was not, you know, really used to winning, did not have a winning culture, to a college that instantly had a winning culture. What was that like? Because you were the best in Georgia, you know, you were the number 5 player in Georgia in your class. But when you go to a school like Alabama, you're lining up against not just the best, you know, in your state, you line up against the best in other states. So what was that like for you?
Well, it's a situation where if you truly a winner want to be around other winners. If you truly believe yourself is great, you want to be around other great players. You don't want to be around people who's not going to push you and you just on the top of the mountain to where you're not getting better. And I feel like it's the best thing that can happen for you as a person, as a player, because it truly shows where you are. And once you see where you are, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to soak? Are you going to still then push yourself to new heights to overcome that? And that's how I look at it. It's not meant for everybody, but it was something that I really sat down myself and I was like, this is something that I want to do and I want to see where I am. I always equate it to like it's sink or swim. It's like you never know what you're going to do until you just throw yourself into it. You're either going to sink or you're going to fight.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing you can do.
So going into your senior year now, what is your senior year looking like for you? And, what is on the table? What can we expect?
Well, right now I'm just working out each and every day, just trying to get better, just trying to get stronger, trying to get faster, trying to lean up, do as much as I can in the weight room and the physical aspect and trying to get better, learn more, teach more. As I'm getting older, I want to teach the freshmen or younger guys that come that's behind me right now, being more of a tool. And this time getting more team chemistry right now, with each and every one, as we're so close right now.
Yes.
That's one of the main things right now that I'm focused on. And one of the biggest things I can say I look forward to is just giving it all I got for this next upcoming season. That's the only thing that anybody can ask for. But in my case, that's all I can do is just give it all I got.
Exactly. I think that's a great, mindset to have, especially in the off season when that is like the rebuilding period, for each player to gather themselves and, figure out what is it that you want to do in this next upcoming season. So I do think that's important, Justin. I'm glad to see that you have, made it this far, because not many people do. And you are, one of the kids, who beat the odds. So congratulations. And I wish you luck on everything that you have coming up in your career, not just this upcoming season, but anything that you might have after college football.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well,